Call in sick. How many mornings don't count? How many mornings fresh slate, sun rays, hope, eclipsed by reminder of your own body? How many mornings does it storm without storming? Do you feel eaten but don't feel like eating? How many mornings log in, refresh, dodge comments, scan comments, log out, restart? How many mornings tally likes for love? Wonder what a click tap from a stranger grants you that you can't grant yourself. What the lack of a click tap takes from you that you can't give yourself. How many mornings Google Toronto tallest bridges, subway suicides, only 60% who jump die. How many mornings you have run out of sick days. When do you run out of being brown? So that is from Even This Page is White by Vivek Shraya, and this is a beautiful lyrical poetry collection that just tackles what it means to be brown and what it means to deal with how we go about being racialized in a white society, and just calling out race and racism and making it visible and tangible, such as in that poem. And it's just so realistic, and it really touched me, and that was one of my favorite poems. And sometimes it's hard when it's put out in front of you like this to even put into words just how difficult and how draining it can be to have to put on this facade day after day when you just don't even want to be in the same space as someone that doesn't understand you. And this is kind of vague, but what I'm referring to specifically is someone in my family passed away this week, and at work today just felt like, everyone knew because I wasn't at work yesterday, but it was this facade of everything's okay, and it's I just wish I was with my family, and in that we were, because being together we could just talk about and be joyful and be sad and talk about all of the things that we will miss about this person. And it's just it's very different. It's just it's just hard to put into words, but I think that Vivek really talks about the differences with gender and how race and gender coincide, and makes you really confront race and our identities. And I think that the the name of it's the poetry collection itself, Even This Page is White, and how many of the pages themselves have white space, and there's so much that we have to tone down to let white people be. And it's just it just kind of calls that out, and it's So that was recent read number 1. And recent read number 2 was Americanah, which I mentioned in my last video. I finished it 2 days ago, and one of the passages that really touched me about race as well was this one about, it's one of the blogs that Ifemelo, the main character, touches on. It's called Understanding America for the Non-American and Black, a few explanations of what things really mean. Of all their tribalisms, Americans are most uncomfortable with race. If you are having a conversation with an American and you want to discuss something racial that you find interesting, and the American says, oh, it's simplistic to say it's race. Racism is so complex. It means they just want you to shut up already, because of course racism is complex. Many abolitionists wanted to free the slaves, but didn't want black people living nearby. Lots of folk today don't mind a black nanny or a black limo driver, but they sure as hell mind a black boss. What is simplistic is saying it's so complex, but shut up anyway, especially if you need a job/favor from the American in question. Number 2, diversity means different things to different folks. If a white person is saying a neighborhood is diverse, they mean 9% black people. The minute it gets to 10% black people, the white folks move out. If a black person says diverse neighborhood, they are thinking 40% black. 3. Sometimes they say culture when they mean race. They say a film is mainstream when they mean white folks like it or made it. When they say urban, it means black and poor and possibly dangerous and potentially exciting. Racially charged means we are uncomfortable saying racist. So this book, yo, it just, I love how she, Adichie, really used Ifamelu's blog to comment on race and class and how people in America don't talk about it because they are uncomfortable, and how we can't just name up the oppression for what it is and like the privilege and like that people have, and just be like, stop being so fragile, because white fragility is real and people don't, like, they can't come to terms with that. And it's like, how are people of color, black people, and indigenous people, anyone supposed to get anything done and like move forward if white people can't address how uncomfortable they are? And like, they say they are willing to have uncomfortable conversations, but it's only to a certain point. As soon as like you start pushing one of their internal, because like white people internalize race as well, but in a very completely different way. And as soon as you push one of those buttons, like, it's like they shut down and they don't want to talk about it because there's so much shame there because of the past and what like their ancestors did. And it's like, okay, that happened, but like, we need to talk about it in order to do anything and like have any progress in our workspaces, in our lives, and any kind of movement to happen. But yeah, so that's something that this book really brought up in me. And both of these are just like, they're so good, and I'm so glad I read them back to back, because it's just like a perfect way to start the year, and just like reminding me like, I'm in this for the long run. This is not an easy conversation to be had, and we're gonna keep talking about it because it's important. But yeah, so let me know if you've read either of these, and I'll talk to you guys very soon.